Hey guys, today we're going to be installing Fedora Workstation 31. I recorded this a little while back, but not too far back. So there's probably something slightly newer out, but Fedora is kind of like cutting edge anyways. Um, so you're always kind of going to have the latest and greatest, oftentimes probably beta packages. Yeah, anyways, here we go. We're booting up the install disk. And there we go. So we're going to install the hard drive rather than try it because it doesn't even run that well off of the. I mean, it runs fine off the CD. You get to test it out, but it's not going to be the same performance as installing it. Plus, we're running on a VM anyways. So here I'm going to select English just because that's yeah, United States English, because that's basically where I am. And we're going to set this and basically just check that that's basically just select the disk and not a whole lot else here. I mean, you could add partitions and mess around with a lot of stuff, but we're not really going to do that. So this is a VM. We're not too worried about overwriting anything or anything like that, so we're just going to go ahead and just wipe everything out. So it doesn't seem to want to let me actually, it seems to think this drive is in use, and it doesn't seem to want to let me reclaim the space. So I think I was just missing something obvious here, but let's see. So I guess we can just go in and delete this. There we go, finally. So yeah, looks like I had left something. I had probably installed something on the same VM previously. I really probably should have just deleted the VM and recreated it. But I probably tested something out on that earlier, and that's why that was there. But manually deleting the partitions was enough to wipe them out. And it should have wiped them out for me, but I'm kind of surprised by that. And here we go, finish installation. I kind of fast forwarded that part of the video, but it would usually take a little bit longer. So here we are with our desktop, and let's see, let's shut it down, do a restart, and we're going to want to make sure the CD is actually ejected. So the ISO, we don't want that mounted. So we're going to unmount that here, force unmount, because it's already trying to boot up off of it again. And we're just going to restart the VM. So here we go, should be starting up with our newly installed system. Here it goes, you see the logo and stuff. No text scrolling by. That wasn't too long, so that's not too bad. I mean, considering it's a VM and everything. So it's gonna welcome us. It's basically installed, but it still makes us click on these things. So turn off location services and problem reporting because we just don't care. We don't care about any of this stuff too. So, yeah, I'm not too creative with my username. I'm just going to call it user1. And we're going to set a password. Actually, we probably should do this too. Well, I mean, whatever. just to customize it and try things out. So this is a weak password. If this were a production machine or something you're going to keep around, you might want to have a better password. But there we go. Basic setup stuff is done. So some basic GNOME help because we're on a GNOME desktop. These days I generally just prefer KDE, but GNOME is pretty nice. See, this actually looks really nice. I actually do like a lot of things about KDE. How it shows your applications like this. So we're gonna throw the terminal on there, even though this is kind of disposable. Remove the music player, remove the store or not. But it looks nice, and it's kind of a neat setup. I almost wanted to get used to GNOME rather than KDE or XFCE or something, but just the way it behaves on opening applications and switching workspaces or virtual desktops or whatever you want to call them, it just doesn't quite behave the way I want, and I couldn't get it to work exactly the way I wanted. So I generally don't use GNOME, but it's as of today anyways, it's the default on Ubuntu as well, and that's generally what I'm using as the daily drivers. I just use Ubuntu. But yeah, here you go. You can see in our Etsy Red Hat release, you have a Fedora 31. Nothing against Fedora, but I generally much prefer Ubuntu.